Welcome to the second part of my Jett Cosplay Creation series. As you can see, I'm in a different location. Me and Reese have finally moved into our own place. We are now living in Wales. We're back with the cosplay stuff. I am ill today. I should have uploaded part 1 by now. It was a long one. We actually got quite a lot done. I finished pretty much all the sewing on the top, which I was not expecting to have done. And I have also started on the shoes, which I actually started yesterday. I took a quick clip, but I didn't film anything drastic because it was just like something quick for me to do in the evening. As a sort of like where we're at update, this is what the top is currently looking like. I'm aware she looks a little bit janky. She's a bit creased from her journey from Sandhurst to Wales. This is where we're currently at. Not too bad. I'm actually really happy with how it's shaping out because I thought the top would be a lot harder than it actually was. I did add some lining from other parts of the jumper onto the edge just to give it a little bit more detail, so it looks a bit more like visually exciting. My only issues at the moment is I think I want to bring in these side bits a bit because they stick out a little bit too much for my liking. So today I'm just gonna focus on getting all of the sewing that I've already done sealed in with some Mod Podge. I did it with my Sky one and I think it just really helps my low skill sewing to stay in place. So when I did my Sky cosplay, I basically just covered the whole thing in Mod Podge, which gave it more of a like plastic look and helped it keep its shape, which was brilliant. So right now I'm just going to get all the edges sealed with some Mod Podge, finish off a little bit of sewing, and then we'll be grand.
So I'm actually going to show you some footage from a couple of nights before I filmed that intro of me just working on the shoes for Jett. So here I'm just sewing on some blue material which came from the excess jumper from the hood that went onto the top to create the sort of crisscross pattern she has. And they turned out pretty well. I was really happy with them. And then I moved on to painting in the evening. So I did the base all the way around and a tiny bit underneath this like aqua blue color. I tried to get it as close to hers as possible. It does kind of look like it's glowing in the picture, but I feel like this was the best I could do. I feel it definitely shows better once the entire shoe is painted, because when it's compared to the white, it looks a little bit odd. But once the whole base was painted, I was very happy with it. Once the full base was painted, I moved on to doing these straps that she has at the back. I wasn't very happy with how these turned out. They were a little bit wonky, but from a distance they'll be fine. The same with these white puffs of like air she has on the side of her shoes, because I didn't measure and ensure that each section of that shoe was the same size. They do vary in size and design, which truthfully I feel like only I would know because I was physically there painting it up close and I could see the differences really close. Then I moved on to PVA gluing the top. I did mention before that I wasn't sure if I was going to do this, but I'm really glad I did. After it dried, I realised the edges need bringing in a bit, like the area under my armpit, so Reese very kindly offered to sew it for me as it was really hard to push the needle by hand through this PVA solid fabric. So thanks Reese for doing that, you saved me a lot of time. Then once that was done, I could finally move on to painting it the colour blue I wanted, as I felt that the blue wasn't bright enough that I dyed it. PVAing also helped me out with this painting process as it meant that the paint was sitting on top and I wasn't wasting paint as the material wasn't absorbing it.
So I've finally gotten round to painting the top. Reese very kindly took it in at the sides for me so it fits a lot nicer now. more similar to the way that Jett's top fits on her. So I've started painting. I think it might be a bit blue. It looks better in my phone light than it does in real life. But I'll have a look at it once it's dried in daylight tomorrow. So I'm just going to finish off the front tonight and then I'll leave it to dry overnight and we'll check back in then.
Now we're moving on to my favourite part of the cosplay, which I've done so far, which is doing the decal on the back of the top. So I gave the top a couple of days to dry fully, and once I was happy that it was completely dry, I sketched out the outline of the decal and then began painting. I was most looking forward to this, I think, because I really enjoy painting anyway. I find it quite stress relieving, and it's just something I generally enjoy as a hobby. And I think that this was quite a big step in the cosplay feeling more real and starting to actually come together in my head. So I was really eager to get it done. So this took me 3.5 hours, and when I tell you my back hurt, my back hurt. Probably should have been sat at the table, but I apparently don't care about my posture.
Just finished the white bit. I didn't even realise how long it was taking me until I just looked at the time and it was 4:30. But it's looking pretty good if I do say so myself. I'm very proud of it. It will need another coat because there's a couple of patchy areas where the blue bit is poking through. But since I have the white paint out now and I have quite a bit left, I'm probably just going to work straight on that because I did a fairly thin coat, so it should already be kind of dry. Dry enough to do a second coat anyway.
Like I said, I did a couple of touch-ups on the white bits and then began painting the blue background. Here I realised I had done the wrong shade of blue, completely the wrong shade. I think the problem is that Jett's hood is a lot more muted in its colour, and the back of this decal, like the darker bit, matches that. And because my hood is a bit brighter, I went with just the bog standard sort of like navy blue I had. Instead, I used the picture as a reference and created this more teal based colour. I'd call it like a cloudy teal if I had to give it a name. I feel like this bit took me the longest because I was really trying hard to get those lines as straight and as clean as possible, which was very difficult. I didn't try too hard with the white as I knew that I would be going around with the blue, but the majority of the time was spent after I had like bulked out the colour, was spent going back over myself and trying to get it done. Coming up at the end of the video are some progress updates of the finished paint job. If you do want more frequent updates on how me and Reese are progressing with both our cosplays, you can follow our joint cosplay account on Instagram, which is otter_n_beaver. But thanks for watching this video, guys. I hope you are having a lovely morning, afternoon, or evening wherever you are, and hopefully I'll see you next time.